a little bit about self-love and how we've taken care of ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you're a working wife and mother of three, you're like, okay, I'll eat the last piece. I'll go last.
Good morning, good evening, and good day to you. This is Miss Alicia Perez with Giuliani Construction and Restoration. Super excited to have take two. We have known each other for probably 3 years now, and I am so happy to have her on the show. So tell us about you, Miss Alicia, and also about Giuliani.
All right. Hello, Vanessa. I am Alicia Perez, Giuliani Construction and Restoration. Personally, I am a mother of three. I live in Castro Valley. It's been a great industry change for me the last 7 years that I joined restoration, and the last two, particularly with Giuliani, a construction heavy restoration. We're a full service mitigation to repairs outfit, home based out of San Jose, with an office in South San Francisco and an upcoming office in the East Bay that COVID slowed down for us a little bit, but still in the works. Yes, so happy to be here with you.
Yeah, me too, me too. I know the last time that we talked, you were talking about how different the two companies were, because obviously you had a previous start in the commercial real estate industry, and now Giuliani has provided more of a hands-on learning because you're going into the properties, right?
Yes, I've had a lot of hands-on. Anything that is educational, I click, I join. I have big interest, just so I could be an added value to the clients. Yes, it's a strong construction base, and just watching the seamlessness of how a building is mitigated. It's dried out, it's cleaned up, and then to take it to pre-injury status, I call it, is an amazing segue into that I'm glad to be a part of. I've learned so much, particularly this last year. We've been stuck on our screens, and with all these educational pieces being thrown our way, and I've taken advantage of those quite a bit.
Definitely. Good. Same here. I feel like we're so lucky to have the tools at our fingertips, especially with all of the free education. Some of it isn't necessarily always free, but I feel like a lot of our associations have kind of stepped up and have tried to bring us that additional value. So really thankful. What other associations are you in?
I am part of, besides BOMA, IFMA, IREM. I follow quite a bit, CRE Silicon Valley. On the multifamily side, there's the Apartment Association, CAA, CAI, and CACM, the certification of most managers. On the affordable housing side, I'm involved with AMA. I follow BizNow for market trends, anything real estate and commercial real estate trends. Try to stay up on those. So I follow quite a bit of associations. Yes.
Just moving and shaking. What is your territory again? Is it all of Northern California, or is it just East Bay, Silicon Valley?
It's basically South Bay, East Bay, and San Francisco Bay area.
Okay.
I'm gonna change here shortly. My main focus is East Bay Peninsula to San Francisco.
Okay, that's really good. I really love that area. I know whenever I was living there, it was definitely a change for what I was used to for just being in Silicon Valley, and then going all the way to Sacramento. I would always miss that whole center area, and then being engulfed into it was really a really cool experience. So I'm a little jealous.
And that area that you bypass going to Sacramento, that's really expansive area. That's really where I have a feeling it started, year before last. And that's really where a lot of focus, those areas were priced out at one point, and the industry's growing, particularly in that area. So you wouldn't have it anymore.
Yeah, I know. There's a lot of changes right now. But I'm excited now. You guys are in the red tier, right?
Yes. We dine in again. So many things that we haven't been able to do are resuming slowly. And yeah, it has been slow. A lot of people are like, okay, I could dine in, but I still want to wait a little bit, or we still prefer to eat outside, things like that. But yeah, that red tier, it seems like it's, we'll take it, you know.
Yes, 100%. So speaking of eating outside or not, are you doing any of the in-person events? I know Boma Oak and East Bay has their golf tournament coming up. Or any of the other associations doing that right now?
Some have promised. Some of the associations I mentioned said we expect our next event to be in person. I kind of went, whoa, that's some, great thinking. A lot is still going to be virtual. I'm also involved with BCN East Bay, and our upcoming event at the end of April will still be virtual. And our fingers are crossed for some of our flagship events that occurred outdoors for them to be able to resume this late summer and fall.
Like the Taste of Oakland?
Like the Taste of Oakland, the cable car event is such
so much fun.
You've been many times. And so we're hoping, we're like, it's too early to say, but I have a feeling by late September, we've got those 3, vaccines out. It's effective. I have a feeling school, my youngest daughter commences today. Bishop O'Dowd High School starts today.
And she's a senior, right?
She's a junior.
Oh, junior.
And then I also have a junior at University of Michigan, and they're still virtual. They get a little bit of stage time distanced. And my oldest moved to San Diego in this climate. She saw the opportunity to work remotely and said, I can work remotely anywhere. Let's try San Diego.
That's so awesome.
Just Vanessa, many changes this year.
But it's all good changes, which is the most important for sure. Normally, I know last time we kind of talked about other events, but I'm in a mood to just talk about future stuff at this point. So are there any fun events that you're planning other than the BCN or that you wanted to share?
Yes, I'm going to revisit again an opportunity to do like an educational, motivating piece for one of the associations. We did a successful, just the times that we're in, best practices of what we can do during this time. I know we don't want to keep focusing on being shut down and locked down, but silver linings, and also how we have endured. We're not alone. Everybody has been in our shoes as far as the challenges of what the last year put forth, and looking into an additional educational piece for managers. And that is what I have lined up. And
is that through Giuliani exclusively, or is that going to be through an actual one of
that'll be an association? I'll just be a guest speaker.
Awesome.
Things that we do. Yeah, it's not necessarily to showcase us. It's just to kind of say, hey, we're your partner. I'm personally your partner here. I know what you're going through. And so different challenges, from occupancy to, look how many buildings are vacant. And I'm like, what is the fate of those buildings? And yet companies are still purchasing, they're taking over. I see new storefronts. The brick and mortar is going to return. I just know we're going to look back and go, remember when we had that chance to grab, just grab right now,
100%. There again, we are so lucky to have this tool at our fingertips that we can order and buy things, but it's also so nice to just touch things. It's so nice to engage with people. And I feel like, yes, this last year has pushed us to be digitally inclined and continuing that conversation on the web. But I also think that it's kind of fed into our hunger of wanting to be with people. So I 100% agree with your brick and mortar theory.
Yes. I can't wait to be able to just be normal. I don't even remember what normal is anymore. It's definitely a new.
I don't think that there is I think it's going to be a new normal for sure.
Yeah. Our awareness, our appreciation for so much. Patience, I'm like, no, we don't have to. I don't have to be in the fast lane all the time. And yes, I'm going to appreciate like somebody sitting before me that I haven't seen in a long time. I will never again take for granted much of what I have.
I miss you guys so much.
We miss you, yeah. But I know you're doing great things. And again, It's like, okay, what would you be missing if you were here? You would be indoors like you started.
Yeah. It's I just miss people. But I am finally making friends out here. I have a couple clients that are under my belt, which is super exciting. And there's a lot of opportunity. Again, it was all kind of derived through this push for a need of social media and that push for that growth that people are fighting for. So it was a place that I was kind of forced into, but I'm very grateful for it. So I'm just excited.
Yeah, and you make the best of everything, Vanessa. That's just that's a trait that you have. That yeah.
So do you.
Onward thinking always.
So I know you said that there were some changes. Are there any openings at Giuliani at this point?
What we are still in need for at Giuliani is a project manager. We an additional project manager. South Bay based primarily, doesn't necessarily have to be, but that market is open to a seasoned project manager. Yes.
Cool. I know of a couple of people that are looking, so let me know if you know of anybody. It's always such a funny spot because we talked about a couple things and I don't want to ask you the same questions, but I guess I kind of have to, right?
Yeah. We talked about positions, how we kept busy, changes that we endured, just the climate, just self. I think we talked a little bit about self-love and how we've taken care of ourselves. Yeah. When you're a working wife and mother of 3, you're like, okay, I'll eat the last piece. I'll go last. And so I've never read so many books before. I never cooked so much. I'm taking my time with a lot of things, but definitely a lot of self-development where I'm like, I knew I could do it. I just needed the time. I needed the opportunity to really say, oh, there's 10 things I can't do today. So let's stay home.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Are you, what was your favorite thing that you cooked this year? Or is there a new thing?
I mastered salmon. We eat salmon like every Friday because I just, pan-seared nuts, you name it. I change the variations, but yeah, I'm a salmon goddess and bake a lot of baked goods. Remember the flour shortage at the start of COVID and leavening? Yeah, there was no shortage of a lot of that, but learned to make my own. And so, yeah, definitely the cooking has been one of my favorites.
Did you do the banana bread? I remember that was something very popular at a point in COVID.
Oh, absolutely. And that one, mine, I have to say, very moist because, banana bread, everybody can make, and how many, you always add the extra bananas. And the point is to make it like a wet cake, like a dry bread. So mine's very gooey and very good.
Oh, I'm so jealous. I want it. For some reason, I'm really craving bananas. So.
Or banana bread and then nuts. If you don't have walnuts, it's like, no, what is a carrot cake without? I like dense, and definitely the nuts make the texture makes all the difference.
It's so funny because Eli is so weird. He's so weird, and he always has these kind of like stipulations. He's like, I love carrot cake, but I love cake, but no nuts. I don't like it. Like, why would you want something hard in your cake? It's not hard. Why would it be hard? It's supposed to cook down, so it's like, yes, it does have a crunch, but that adds to the texture. And this, I think last week he was really craving carrot cake, and my stepmom out here was supposed to make some. We couldn't because of whatever. And then we go to the store. And he sees a slice of carrot cake. So he gets it. He forgets about it for a couple days, even though he's been craving it for a week at this point. He gets it, and I knew that there was nuts in it because I could see them, and I didn't say anything. And he ate it, and he's like, "Oh man, there's nuts in here." I was like, "Are you gonna eat it?" And he was just like, "Yeah, because it's really good." I was like, "See, now you like nuts in your cakes." And then
And they were probably diced so small. The ones at the store don't have like your big, I just cut, walnuts in 4 pieces and those are good for me. But yeah, it was probably shaved or very small pieces that he didn't even bother him.
No. So now he's, I told him, he was a little self-conscious. He's like, man, I've been telling everybody that I don't like nuts. I was like, it's okay. I knew that you were going to change your mind eventually. So now I'm going to tell everybody and you're going to have all the nutty cakes.
All the cakes and it was way.
He also doesn't like Oreo, like double stuffed Oreos.
Oh, I like the chocolate part better too.
Yeah.
I've been known to take a butter knife and I just want the chocolate part. So when they did double stuff, I thought that's more to remove. I want the cookie. I want 3 layers of the cookie.
I love it. Did you know Oreos are vegan?
No.
Mm-hmm.
Really the whole cookie, boy. And then what we do is like we dip it in milk. We go completely opposite. Maybe that's why they curse so well. Huh?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like this needs calcium, this needs dairy. Yeah.
That's funny.
Milk's favorite cookie, right? That's what the
yes. Do you want to talk about your words of advice? Obviously, we've spoken a little bit about self-care.
Your pup is visiting. Hi, I saw him walk by.
Yeah. She has 3 of her toys, and she's playing with it. And then I'm sure she's gonna start getting into her bed soon. She likes to tear it up. But yeah, do you want to go over any words of advice or anything that you'd like to share?
Yeah, just keeping busy. Staying upbeat, positive. I see the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. I know that we're through this. Community service, I think that's something I didn't mention that kind of helped us through as well. There's a lot of philanthropic associations, a lot of feel goods associations that needed people, and having a little more flexibility. I dove into I did a successful coat drive, and it just felt so good to turn in hundreds of coats, how people's hearts were so open to donating, and especially in this time. And so that was a really good, I want to get involved with a lot more of those. I know, BOMA does their toy drive, and yeah, you kind of warm up towards the end of the year. You start thinking children and greater need, elderly, just anybody. If it's tough for us to get through something, I'm like, what about, mentally challenged, the medically challenged, the wheelchair, residents, like just what a challenge. Yeah. I hope everybody has an extra hand to help everyone through these tough times. Yeah.
I know whenever we were in COVID, it was, I was furloughed, and then I ended up working for West Valley Community Services for a little bit, and they are amazing. They take on volunteers all the time. Honestly, it was so inspiring and so great to work with them for that short period of time. And they're very cognitive of keeping people safe, especially throughout the pandemic. So I would definitely highly suggest you checking them out. They take in orders from really nice places, and they basically each day we would package up the food for people that were in need. And so they get their goods from like Trader Joe's, the Nugget, or not the Nugget, Whole Foods, Sprouts. And so it's all really quality stuff. And they're so willing to give back to their community. And so they do. So I would definitely look into them if you do want to do some more volunteer work.
Yes, I know in San Francisco, St. Anthony's is always their kitchen, their clothing stores, they call them, where people come in and get an outfit for a job interview, or just, so many associations. Just sitting. I've enjoyed sitting with elderly in some of the SROs and some of the affordable housing places in San Francisco, and on their art day, it's like, wow, let's just watch somebody, and you could see history. They're drawing a little flower, and their minds are just like going back to a time where we weren't even born, and what are they remembering? So you mentioned that, and I'm glad you were a part of that association for a while there.
Yeah, yeah, it was luckily I had a paycheck from them, so I was very lucky in that, but I would have done it for free too. And that actually reminds me, now that we're kind of talking about philanthropy and stuff, I remember for a while I would send in holiday cards to elderly people, especially for the ones that don't necessarily have families, and usually you can work with homes, and then you can provide that. So I used to have card making parties with some of the property managers, which was great. So maybe we can try to do something like that. I could still do it out here in Texas and just send them over, and then maybe we just all kind of talk and show each other over the virtually.
A great thing to do. So much can go into a card, and that's the way to communicate. We haven't had anyone. We haven't seen a lot of these people that we adore. And yes, a card will always make someone's day, and then homemade. And what a good idea, Vanessa. I like that.
Yay. And then also something that I am planning. So obviously you saw on the People in CRE Facebook group, and if anybody else wants to join the Facebook group, let me know. It's for people in the commercial real estate industry, and I think that we're starting to kind of gain momentum and kind of talk about job openings and everything. But we have the upcoming Beaumont Oakland East Bay beer tasting in April, so we're gonna pin down which brewer we're gonna use. I think tomorrow we're gonna make that decision, because we were gonna make it for today. Didn't work out that way because of brewers weren't getting back to us. But for May 4th, it's also Star Wars Day, and I wanted to do that one for AFE. I might choose to do not craft beer, or maybe something else. So if you have any other ideas, let me know.
Yeah, we've held the beer tasting events with all these local, Altamont Brewery, and Livermore has a lot of breweries. San Francisco Brewing Company, BOMA had that nice beer tasting event most recently. And we've also done the wine tasting. We've done the spirits. BOMA also did the spirits, where the one cocktail was ready made, and then the others, I've never learned so much about barley and wheat and whiskey and rye. And so I took notes, and yeah, the things that I didn't think really interested me, I'm like, you know what, I'm going to have that cocktail, and I'm going to buy. And at the holidays, sure enough, I bought a couple of the bottles that were spoken about. Yeah, that. So yeah, keep in mind anything besides the beer tasting event that I could think of. Any companies that have just made it easy and accommodating a large group and pricing and everything.
Yeah, maybe I could also do. Because I want to reinvigorate AFE Golden Gate, and I do need some help. So if you're interested, let me know, because I am the chapter president. We haven't been super active. I mean, that's kind of why I have the newsletter. That was where it all kind of ties in together. But I definitely could use some help, and especially if Giuliani wants to provide educational piece, we can. Yeah, I have so much going on right now, which is really exciting, and I'm so happy that I'm still able to be as involved again, being from halfway across the nation and still getting stuff done.
No, you planted quite the garden here in the Bay Area, Vanessa. There's only you, and yeah, that's where you kind of go, I could venture off just for a little bit and try this out, and I'm not going to lose. I've got my heartstrings are right here.
Yes.
And yeah, it's amazing what you're doing.
Thank you. So we'll plan it. I'm feel like I like to spread myself too thin, but I think that's all doable stuff. It's all very manageable, so it's okay.
Oh, I like to have things in the pipeline. It's like you're all over the place, Alicia. It's okay. Your idea, if you don't act on it, write it down, at least start it, you can always go back and finish it. 100%. So you have that seed planted and all these little, and you're like, okay, what's going to sprout next? Yes.
I love it. Okay. Thank you so much, and have a great day.
Thank you. You do the same.
Thanks. Bye.